And welcome back to another episode of Too Much Pod Tar. Today's August 20th, and we're back again with another DFS pod. Give some picks for tonight's slate. And Johnnie Black is back. He's back for another pod and his first DFS pod on here. It's been a little while since he's been on one. Since we did I believe it was doing the National League and American League predictions. That was the last ones we did before the DFS. So yeah, it's been like a month or so since he's been on. So welcome back.
Well, thanks for having me back. Yeah, I know it's been transitioning from the Scarecrow to primetime sports talk and everything like that. And, this work and regular life. It's been rough. It seems like for a while there, I was on here every day. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't here. But back with the DFS stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Huge shout out to Joey too for the idea. He was the one who suggested doing this, so I'm definitely rolling with it and doing it every day, which is good to do. Tonight's slate is 7:05, 8 games under that slate, and we got a lot of good pitching options, a lot of guys at the top that are solid options, also some value as you get down lower. So, yeah, Johnny he has some pitchers that he wanted to mention. So he's doing the article today too. So he went in deep into detail with a lot of, especially the pitchers. So if you want to just start off naming some of yours.
Yeah, I mean, the top price pitcher, obviously, Shane Bieber. He's facing Pittsburgh in PNC Park. I mean, how can you not go with Shane Bieber? The guy's been absolutely lights out this year. 6 walks, 54 Ks, and 35 2/3 innings. He's 4-0. He's facing Pittsburgh. So enough said with that. I mean, the worst team in the NL. So, and he's gone at least 6 innings in each of his starts. Yeah. That's something we've been looking for, especially with this whole COVID thing and, the summer camp. And a lot of these starting pitchers started off not throwing, only throwing 70 pitches, only throwing 75 pitches. But, they seem to start getting stretched out. But, I mean, Bieber's just been, the dude's a Cy Young right now, without a doubt. And, the unfortunate thing for him is that Cleveland doesn't score a lot of runs. So, the wins, he's 4-0 in 5 starts, which is great. So you just hope that they can score enough runs. But I can't see Pittsburgh scoring more than like a run or two if they're lucky against Bieber. He's just been absolutely dominant. So in cash games, I would roll with them. Even in I'm not sure if DraftKings has the showdown for that matchup. I don't think so. But in cash games, I would definitely roll with Bieber. Play the safe bet. He's going to dominate. And that goes to my flip side is the value. As far as the cheaper option, if you want to stack your lineup a little more, on the other side of that is Trevor Williams. He's only 5,600 on DraftKings. The Indians' offense, like I said, hasn't been good at all this year. They're last in the American League in OPS at 640. They're next to last in home runs at 22. And they're playing in Pittsburgh, so Trevor Williams is home. The Indians just don't score a lot of runs. So this is definitely shapes up to be a pitching matchup.
Yeah.
And if you think maybe Pittsburgh could run into a couple, Williams could very easily go 6 innings and have a quality start. Granted, his strikeout upside isn't nearly what Bieber is, but you're paying $5,600. If he gets you to 13, 14, 15 points, that's money in the bank. And you can spend more of that, obviously, in your lineup.
Yeah, I like those 2 picks, especially, Bieber is, as you said, he win the Cy Young right now. If the, season ended, he's been so dominant. See here. Yeah, he's hasn't had less than 8 strikeouts his last 4 starts. So, and he's thrown almost 100 pitches in all of them. 98 the last one, but other than that, he was over 100. So definitely can go deep into the game.
Yeah, it's a midseason form. Yeah. A couple other guys I wanted to mention. Clayton Kershaw, the resurgence is back. Mm-hmm. So I mean, he's been pretty good this year. And his peripherals. I was looking at his stuff, and his average fastball velocity is almost at 92, which is higher than it was the past 2 seasons. His swinging strike rate is 13.6, which is higher than it was the last 2 seasons. And no one's making contact. No one's hitting him. 48.8 O contact, which for those of you who aren't in Fangraphs or Sabermetric, is outside of the strike zone. 48.8 of the balls get hit. It's his lowest in his career.
Wow.
Actually. And his Z contact, which is pitches in the strike zone, is 83.3, which is his lowest since 2016.
Wow.
So no one's hitting him. No one's even hitting the ball off him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been using his slider. His velocity's gone up on all his pitches, but he still has a solid, mix and everything. But the fastball is the big thing. 91.9 average fastball, and he's been hitting 93, 94 when he wants to dial it up. So I mean, I don't know what got into him, but at 32 years old, Kershaw's starting to look like the old Kershaw.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you probably won't get a 1-point-something ERA out of him, but at 2.65 so far this year, and what the Dodgers lineup can do. I mean, and Kershaw's facing Seattle.
Yeah.
So, it's not like they see him every year. It's not like they see him that much.
No.
I think 3 of their hitters have actually faced him in their career. So, I mean, if you haven't faced Kershaw, I could roll with him. And one other guy I wanted to mention was Dinelson Lamet from San Diego. I love San Diego tonight.
Oh, yeah.
The Rangers are absolutely – they're just not a good team. How they even have 10 wins is beyond me, looking at their stats. It's going to be Lamet's first game out of the division. His first 5 starts were actually in the division. He faced the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the past 2 starts, actually, and the Giants. But the Rangers, just like I talked about it, the Indians' offense was bad. The Rangers are last in the AL in runs scored. They scored 88 runs in 23 games, which is horrible. It's less than 4 a game. They're last in home runs. They've hit 19. I mean, and Lamet's been good this year. He's got strikeout upside. So, I mean, I like Dinelson Lamet a lot as like a mid-range option tonight. So, Kershaw, Bieber are higher up there. Lamet is kind of a mid-range. I think he's 8,500 on DraftKings. And if you want to go Trevor Williams against that Indians offense at home in Pittsburgh, 5,600, that's really cheap. You can save yourself $5,000 off Bieber if you're willing to give up those 10, 15 points and then try to make it up by throwing it at some hitters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really like the Lamet pick. Because he was actually I actually had him in a couple lineups when he went I think it was 6 innings of no hit ball against the D-backs, his second to last start against it was on August 9th. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like 6 innings he went not allowing a hit. So I was really happy with about that pick when I did that.
Yeah, Lamet's been really good this year. I mean, he's always good stuff. It's just a matter of his command.
Right.
And he seems like he's matured. Which happens with a lot of pitchers. Come up, great stuff, but they don't trust it. So they try to hit the corners, they try to throw to a certain spot, and they don't have the command. You have to trust this stuff, throw it to where it's at, and roll with it. And that's why it takes pitchers a couple of years usually to really find the groove. Well, that's the same. And like I said, the Texas Rangers offenses is brutal. It's just not good.
Yeah.
So,
and we know that the Padres can score runs, so he'll definitely be in the mix for getting the win.
oh yeah, and that goes to my stack. I'll stack the Padres.
Oh yeah.
Give me all of them. They're
Yeah.
hitting.
Yeah, even
Tatis has been an absolute beast this year.
Yeah.
Machado's starting to hit. And Texas, too, their whole bullpen is banged up. Their pitching staff hasn't been good either.
No.
They're 12th. So they're 12th in the AL in walks. They've walked 97 guys in 200 innings. I mean,
Jesus.
So they're giving up 3 bases. The ERA is 11th in the American League at 4.86. Their pitching hasn't been good. Their bullpen is an absolute mess outside of what's his name, Jonathan Rodriguez and Rafael Montero. I think are the 2 main guys in the back.
Yeah.
But everyone else is hurt. They're just throwing guys out there. I know Kyle Gibson's starting today, and he's actually, aside from Lance Lynn, he's actually been their best pitcher. But I just think San Diego is kind of hot right now. They're playing at home. I think they'll get the Gibson. And if they can get the Gibson early and get in that bullpen, that's it. They'll put up 10 runs.
Yeah. Even like with the Padres lineup, you can go with a cheaper option too with Jake Cronenworth. He's only 2,500 and he's been hitting the ball well. Over his last 10, he's 10 for 32.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're going to stack too. I mean, even if he hits at the bottom of the lineup, I mean, you want to go, if you want to spend up, what I try to do, if you want to spend up for a pitcher like Bieber or Kershaw or someone like that, and you still want to stack the Padres, but you can't afford, obviously, Tatis, Machado, all those guys, go 8-9-1-2.
Yeah.
In the lineup. You know what I mean? Because you can get the cheaper guys at 8 and 9 and then still have the top of the lineup at 1 and 2. If you want to go cheaper option, a pitcher like a Trevor Williams, to pair him with a higher price pitcher, or roll with all San Diego, Trevor Williams and Dinelson Lamet. Because I think Lamet, like I said, I think he's 8,500. If you want to pair those guys, you should be able to afford the top 3 in the Padres lineup.
Yeah.
So roll with it. I like when I stack, I like to have guys batting back to back, because if they go on a run, then it's, you get the runs, you get the RBIs, you get, that's the plan.
Yeah, yesterday that worked out for me with the Padres. I had Tatis and Machado, and then Tatis got on in the 10th inning, and then Machado hit the grand slam. So that was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's always great too when it's extra innings. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of like rooting for it to go extras so I can get more points. I was like, yes, it's going extras.
Well, especially when you're in like a cash game, if you're doing like a double up or something, and you're kind of on the borderline.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing, 23 people in the double up and top 10 score, get the money, and you're like 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. You're like, oh yes, I hope this game goes extra so my guys bat again. So you get that's why you always want the top of the lineup too, because they bat more. So you can always get those extra things, but it's always great when that happens and you like kind of borderline, and then something like that, like what you were saying, what happened to you last night, happens in extra innings. It's like, oh, this is beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, I ended up winning. I ended up winning over $50 over 4 lineups. So it was only like the total buy-in was like 20, I think 26 or something like that. So
yeah, hey, whatever adds to the bankroll.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
And I don't know if you want to move to some more hitters that we can talk about.
Yeah, I didn't look too much into the hitters today, but one guy stood out to me. Might be a nice little play. I'm not sure how much he is. My DraftKings app is like freaking out, but Renato Nunez, Baltimore, playing at home, Camden Yards against Nathan Eovaldi. And I usually don't like using small sample sizes. Yeah. And Nunez hasn't been hot, but he's been hitting the ball a little bit. But he's 6 for 9 with a walk, no strikeouts, and 2 home runs against Eovaldi in his career.
Nice.
So he's someone you throw in there. I want to take a chance on. He's usually not that expensive.
Yeah, he's 4,200.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to throw him in, like I said, in Camden Yards against Eovaldi, you don't know what Eovaldi is. He's hit and miss as it is. And Nunez has power.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, especially in a tournament play, I would definitely throw him in my lineup. Considering, like I said, small sample size, but considering the success he's had against Eovaldi, why not roll with him?
Yeah.
You know. So that he's really the only hitter that really stuck out to me. Like I said, I like the Padres stack. You can look for a couple different guys. I mean, I know one of the late games, the the Angels are playing in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I know, obviously, someone like Trout, I really don't need to mention him. But, I think he's 7 for 17 with a couple home runs against Gaussman. I mean, they're in San Francisco, but, Trout hits everybody. So, I mean, stuff like that, I get it. If you're going to spend up for your lineup, obviously Trout's always in play.
Oh,
if you want to spend $6,000 or whatever, $7,000, but there's no other hitters going through it really quick. No other hitters really stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I'm taking some matchups like that. Gaussman's not that great. Yeah. Oh yeah, Trout 7 for 17 with 3 home runs.
Wow.
3. Yeah, Upton's actually 4 for 11. Rendon's 7 for 21. They actually hit Gaussman pretty well. So the Angels might not be, if you're playing a late slate, especially too. Angels might not be a bad little stack too. Although they're all expensive, so it's kind of tough. But
yeah, definitely. I was even saying yesterday with this, it was a potential stack with them yesterday. I don't know. I don't remember what they did even. Oh, they only scored 2 runs yesterday, but it's a different day, so they can end up mashing, especially against a pitcher they're familiar with in Gosman.
Yeah. Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
But we got to go roll with the numbers. I'm going to look for earlier. Yeah, no, I'm just going real quick through stuff, and like I said, not a lot of other hitters really stand out to me.
No.
I mean, maybe a couple of the Reds, if you want to roll, maybe with Votto. He's faced Wainwright plenty of times in his career, obviously, because they played in the same division. And he's actually had real good success against them. 17 for 51 with 3 home runs, 9 ribbies, 7 walks, 8 Ks. So, I mean, someone like Votto is an option at first base against Wainwright. He's familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, nothing really sticks out to me as far as like individual hitters.
There's one guy I like kind of Rafael Devers of the Red Sox, who's been starting to get on fire here. He's been his last 2 games. Last night he went 3 for 4, and then 3 for 5 the night before, and a home run yesterday. So 26 points last night, 17 on Tuesday, and then today the Red Sox are facing Asher Wojciechowski, who's not, he's not the greatest pitcher in the world, obviously. But
yeah,
so I think he has a potential to mash today. I mean, the only thing I probably wouldn't stack. I mean, wouldn't stack the Red Sox because they've been struggling, but also I think Wojciechowski's the one guy who's kind of had their number in the past as well. But Devers is one guy you could probably count on. Let's see.
Yeah, I could see Devers definitely.
Yeah, He's only 1 for 9 in his career against Woj, but
yeah.
that's a small sample, so I don't really look into that too much.
Yeah, it's hard. Less than like 20 plate appearances. You really can't.
No.
I'd probably go 20 and above as far as looking at sample size.
Yeah. It's kind of like you have to kind of look more into what they do against like the whatever pitcher, like if they're right-handed or left-handed, or like what the batter does against those guys, and then what they've done recently. That's where I look at.
Yeah, what they've done recently is huge.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, because when guys get hot, they get hot. They're seeing the pitches well. Granted, they may win one guy here. You also got to look at righty-lefty type thing, not just like lefties hitting against righties or vice versa, but also who has that hitter faced?
Yeah.
If they faced righties the past 6 days in a row, and all of a sudden they're facing a lefty today,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It's a completely different look. Whether you're a righty or a lefty, it doesn't really matter. It's just a completely different side. It's a completely different arm angle. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of look at that too.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Trying to think of, you said the Padres stack. Well, Dodgers too. Dodgers is another stack, of course.
Yeah, Dodgers are always so. Dodgers Twins are always a stack. Like you can always
yeah
kind of put them anywhere, and you don't want to start anybody against them. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Although the Dodgers aren't familiar with Kikuchi, and they historically have trouble against lefties.
Yeah.
So I might stay away from a Dodgers stack, only because, aside from Justin Turner, their big bats are lefties. Muncy, Bellinger,
Mm-hmm.
Peterson. Well, they're bats. But, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
And it's in Seattle. I know home field really doesn't matter much now at this point. But and they really haven't faced Kikuchi. Betts is the only one that's faced him, and he's 0-3 against him. So I don't know. I would personally, especially too, since like guys like Betts, Muncy, Bellinger, they're all high priced.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I'd stay away from the Dodger stack tonight. If you got the money and you want to grab Betts, I might do it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to score 12 runs in the first inning now. I say that, right?
Oh, yeah. There's one that's maybe a potential stack. Maybe the A's they're facing Alex Young, who's pitching in place of Bumgarner in the D-backs rotation. Now he did good in his first start when he replaced him 4 1/3, 1 earned run, so it wasn't too bad. But you get to their bullpen too, though. They could definitely mash once they get to the bullpen too. So
yeah, I could see that one.
let me see. I can't remember what I think their pricing is pretty low too. So yeah, Matt Olson's 4,900, Chapman's 47, Simeon 47, Lariano 4,500. So they're pretty cheap lineup too. So
yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Like I said, though, like something like that, like if you're going to stack like guys like that, then you have to roll with like a Trevor Williams or something as a pitcher.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you can't stop Bieber and Kershaw and then stack like a lineup like that.
No.
So always trying to look for the value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if you want to give your home run call.
I'm gonna go with Nunez. I'm gonna Renato Nunez.
Nice.
I'm gonna say he takes Eovaldi deep tonight. I'm gonna roll with him.
I like that one.
I'm gonna roll with him.
I'm gonna roll with Devers, since that was the one I mentioned.
Same game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that. And I could see, as I think Lamet and the Padres, I think that's going to be a key game.
Oh yeah.
I think Lamet has a great game, and I think the Padres are going to tear it up tonight.
Yeah.
That's the game. No.
We'll see if we'll see if Tatis hits another home run.
Yeah, right. Will he be swinging 3-0?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That whole thing was so ridiculous.
Yeah. It's
These
yeah.
stupid
Chris Woodruff is just like, well, even not even just him too. Like Tingler he threw him under the bus. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, these guys are, and they were saying like even his teammates were saying stuff like, why? Why is that? Like, what the heck is wrong with you?
I don't know. It's
The
like,
dude, someone I forget who it was that I saw on Twitter, and someone brought up a great point. They're like, the Padres will tell Tatis not to swing 3-0 to hit a grand slam in a lopsided game. But when he has fewer home runs and fewer RBIs, they'll use that against him in arbitration when it comes up in 2 years.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So he's making his money now. He's thinking ahead. Look, I'll put up a couple home runs, couple extra ribbies in blowout games. And then when I go to the arbitration table, that one home run is the difference between 29 and 30. And they're going to sit there. The Padres will argue that, oh, well, you didn't hit 30 home runs. So, you know what I mean? Like, so I get it. It's true. It's true. It's a business. So if these guys are all looking at it as business and they're all concerned about contracts and arbitration and stuff like that, and service time and everything, the service time, the teams get to use the service time to their advantage, keeping guys down to work on their fielding, in quotes. You know what I mean? Like, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Just to save an extra year. So why can't the players boost their stats in a blowout game so they take care of themselves then?
Yeah.
Why is that a problem? But when the teams do it, it's not an issue. It doesn't make any sense. Double standard.
Oh yeah, and somebody brought up a similar point last night. We had one of our IBWAA meeting Zoom meetings, and like it was like one of those podcasts, and somebody brought up the point with Clevenger and the Indians, the whole thing. Like maybe the Indians took that as an opportunity to send him down until he's down long enough for them to get an extra year of control. Like that's, they might have done that. They're thinking, no, we'll just send him down. We'll send him down to however many days it is until he's, it pushes his free agency to 2024 now, if he's down there until I feel.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like 20 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And it'd have to be down. Yeah. Well, teams want to play these games. They want to manipulate the service time, like I said. And yet everyone gets mad at Tatis for swinging 3-0.
Yeah.
Why? You know what I mean? Like, he's using that to his advantage to make more money. Whereas teams are using the same loophole, so to speak, in the rules. And there's nothing in the rules that says you can't swing 3-0. Duh. You're playing baseball. These are professionals. That's why I hate it in any sport. Football, the same thing. The only thing with other sports, when it's different in baseball, is because other sports are timed. So a football team that's up by 42 in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. Yeah, you just kneel on the ball or you run it. Obviously you're not going to be chucking the ball over the field because that's just embarrassing because the time will run out. In baseball, there's no time. It's not a clock. So a 7-0 lead, even in the 6th or 7th inning, is not insurmountable.
No.
Because the other team could bat around. I mean, Fernando Tatis Jr., his father hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning.
Yeah.
So what? That wasn't a blowout? He wasn't supposed to swing the second time around? Like, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just silly. It's silly.
Yeah.
The whole thing is silly. Just let the guys play.
Let the kids play.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
People want to see home. Chicks dig the long ball. We saw that commercial years ago.
oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And come on, just let them play, let them do their thing. This has been a tough year for everybody, sports wise and otherwise. These guys, you know, teams have been quarantined. They've had to cancel games and stuff. They get games on the field playing with a superstar in the making, like a Fernando Tatis Jr. And you're gonna bitch at him for swinging 3-0? Come
Yeah.
on,
Like,
stop. You know, baseball's got a marketing problem as it is, and they're gonna make it like all the unwritten rules. What are we, 1955?
oh,
You know what I mean? Like, come on,
it
it's
was,
just stupid.
yeah. Well, we could save this conversation for like a normal pod, but
Yeah, sorry.
with the DFS, we want to try to wrap it up. But yeah, it's definitely a good topic for our like one of our normal episodes. Maybe we'll do one of those soon. Maybe next week at some point or whatever, whenever people can come on. But it's kind of hard with our schedules and stuff to figure out.
We should do a recap pod once we get closer to the trading deadline too, because the trading deadline articles will be going out.
Yeah, we're only 11 days from that.
Right. So we should maybe try to schedule something.
Yeah.
Maybe try to do something toward the end of the month.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe we'll do a live thing.
Yeah, we can do another live one, like we did last year.
Yeah.
I just don't know how many big trades are even gonna go down, like on a year like this.
Yeah.
But
you might see more guys moved that
uh,
have like an extra year of service time.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Guys who will sign through next year rather than rentals.
yeah. I don't think there's gonna be any rentals this year.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna send like whatever a bunch of your prospects for a guy you're gonna get for like a month.
Right.
And then obviously plus the playoffs if they end up getting there.
Yeah.
But I think, well, even that though too, like a lot of teams are going to be in the race, so it's kind of tough there too. Like, except for like a couple teams that aren't going to be in it at all.
Yeah, because now the playoffs are the top 8 teams in each slate. So yeah. So who's gonna be willing to move people?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I mean, aside from like the Pirates and teams like that, But
yeah, I think Josh Bell will be a big. I think he'll be a trade piece.
he could be a huge trade piece for somebody. I just don't know.
I don't know.
Well, we could talk about this on.
Yeah, we'll talk about this.
Once we get closer to the trade deadline.
Probably next week at some point.
Yeah, we could work it out like that final weekend because the 31st is not this coming Monday; it's the following Monday.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do kind of like a trade thing, like I don't know about a live show if it's going to be interesting enough, but maybe we can do something that Sunday.
Yeah, definitely.
Or even that Monday morning or something, because I did a trade deadline. I think it's 4:00 Eastern time or something like that. So, even if it's right before it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we have the trade deadline articles for each team. People got to sign up, and we'll get them banged out over the next week and a half.
Yeah. Well, good luck with your lineups tonight. Hopefully, you win some cash. And I'm back on kind of a roll. It was the first time I won anything for like a few days, or probably a week. So, yeah, hopefully I keep that rolling. But yeah, we'll be back again tomorrow. Another DFS pod. I'm not sure who's going to be on tomorrow, but it'll be at least myself and maybe Joey again. But yeah, keep tuning in and make sure you check out the new site, Primetime Sports Talk. All of us are on there now, so get a lot of stuff out. As Johnny said, the trade deadline articles, and then It's football season. We got a bunch of football stuff coming out as well. Basketball playoffs are in full swing. NHL, the Stanley Cup playoffs are underway. So, yeah, definitely gotta keep an eye on that. And so, yeah, thanks as always for listening. You can follow Johnny on Twitter at jball0202, and Primetime Sports Talk is on Twitter at Talk Prime Time, and also they're on Instagram, and so yeah, definitely check all those socials out, and yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, and you can never have too much pod tar or DFS.